Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dexter. I'm Caliber's Chief Operating Officer and co-founder. Caliber today is the fastest growing talent platform in the Philippines. My story with Caliber started 3 miles away from here, 75 years ago. My grandparents started in Pasay. My grandparents started in Pasay. My grandmother sold mangoes on the side of the street. My grandfather had driven a jeepney. They made a commitment to themselves as they were building their family that they would invest in the education of their children such that their children can find the best jobs possible. My mom was their eldest child. And once she graduated from college, they helped her make the decision, what am I going to do? My grandparents had saved, had earned. My grandfather became a sailor, and such that my mother could finish college. And when she finished, she had to make the decision, where do I build the future for my family? So she actually crossed an ocean to California, because that's where she felt she could find the best job possible for her, where she could build the best future for her family. These are the stories that inspire me. When I actually got rejected but admitted into Berkeley, I joined an organization called PASS. That organization is where I met my co-founder, Paul Rivera, for Caliber. PASS helps students who are underprivileged apply to colleges such that they can find the best jobs possible. After college, Paul went the private sector route. He went off to work for Google, a little small company. I went off to work for the public sector. I worked for government. After some time, Paul moved here actually to the Philippines to co-found a call center. Oh, here's my grandparents. This is my mom who crossed the ocean. And this is actually Paul, my co-founder. He moved here, founded a call center here in the Philippines. And actually at the time, I was in the United States working for government to build workforce development programs to prepare the population for entry into jobs that were growing, into industries that were growing in the United States. I had gotten jaded working for the government, and I resigned from my job. In 2011, I came back here to the Philippines and just to spend time with my family that remained here. But I gave Paul a phone call. We hadn't seen each other since college. It's been about 8 years. I said, Paul, let's have dinner. So he invited me to my call center, to his call center, and that was this night. He said, Dexter, something's happening here in the Philippines. The economy is growing really fast. I have all these job openings, but I can't connect with the talent that's available, with the talent that qualifies for these jobs. And I told Paul, this is what I do. He said, Dexter, we need to talk. That night, we made the commitment to found Caliber, to help people and jobs connect. We got our first break. But before we got our first break, I had to make the decision. Am I going to make the decision that my mom did to cross an ocean, to come back to the Philippines? So I did. But because we hadn't raised any money, the only way I could make ends meet is I had to live in a backpacker hostel with 5 other people in my room for 8 months. All of the belongings that I had in the world fit into these 2 bags, and I only had 1 pair of shoes. The bag on the left had all my books. The bag on the right's full of underwear. We got our first break because 3 years ago we applied to this program it's an incubator called Y Combinator. How many of you heard of Y Combinator? Wow, okay, many. This is where the likes of Dropbox, of Airbnb, of Reddit were founded, billion-dollar companies. And Paul and I were bold. We had nothing to lose. We applied. And 3 years ago, we got an email. They invited us to participate in Y Combinator. We're the first company from the Philippines, the second in Asia to participate. That was our first break. So coming from Y Combinator, we're on a high. We tried to figure out how to tackle this problem of unemployment and connection to employment. So what we did was we built this very big solution where we did online marketing, online assessments, e-learning. Then we did recruitment, connected people to jobs. We went to market, and it was too big. It was unfocused. We ran out of cash. And I was like thinking, do I have to move back into the backpacker hostel? So we raised money again. And we figured out, well, what is it that we really need to focus on? What is it that we're really good at building? We're really good at building technology. So we launched software where companies can use to assess, to screen, to recruit. We launched it. We actually got traction. We had the call center association. We had a handful of clients. Thumbtack, who spoke this morning, was our first paying client. But then the sales cycle was a year long. We didn't have enough capital to last our first sale. So what do? Before we ran out of money again, we said, well, we failed twice. Let's go back to basics. What is the problem that we're actually trying to solve here? We're trying to solve the problem of the fact is that it's hard to look for work. When you post a job, you get flooded with resumes. When you're a job seeker, you become an anonymous piece of paper in a pile that has 1,000 others. How are you going to distinguish yourselves from all the others? So what we did was we made something simple. We said we're going to make our job seekers heroes, and we're going to flip the switch. Rather than them having to look for work, we're going to have the jobs look for them. So we built Caliber. It's a talent marketplace where companies can list their jobs and find people who match the requirements of the jobs. It's where jobs find people. Now, why is this different than LinkedIn? LinkedIn is great. We use LinkedIn also, but it's really fit for the top half of the labor market. We're fit for the bottom half, where nobody has a resume or you don't have a social network. We flipped the switch, and this is when we took off. Right now, Caliber connects one person a minute to a new job. We have 14 government agencies who are looking for talent to bring new life into government agencies because governments need new life. But more importantly, we have 250,000 people who are entrusting us with their futures, with their careers, with their dreams. My family's history is defined by my individual members looking for work. What made us and got us motivated, what kept us focused at each point when we're about to run out of cash, at each point at which we just didn't know what to do, we grounded ourselves in what got us here. We grounded ourselves in why we fight. We grounded in ourselves the stories of our families. Paul's grandmother, she started as a seamstress. His mom also went across the ocean to become a nurse in the United States. This is what helped us push through. This is what helped us remind ourselves why we have to fight. People look to innovation. When they think of innovation, they look to the future. They look to what's the next big thing. Innovation for us is looking to our past. We asked ourselves what made us who we are. And that's why, wow, thank you. I feel like I'm preaching to a choir, and it's very hot. We asked ourselves, what problems do we care about? Caliber is actually a small company. There's only 40 of us. But we're dedicated. We're problem solvers. We're focused. We care about the people whose pictures we showed. We want to ask, how can we help them find the best future possible? How can we help jobs find them? Thank you.